She had never needed help before. She had never expected to. Many of the people who turn to hunger centers for assistance are struggling with unemployment, difficult choices between food and other basic necessities, and the pressure of skyrocketing healthcare costs. Hunger in America 2010 represents a 68% increase over 4 years ago in the number of adults seeking emergency food assistance who've been unemployed for less than a year. And to translate that, what that means is we've got a lot of people out there who are just experiencing unemployment for the first time, who last time we did the study were employed but not quite making ends meet. And there are many people who are underemployed, unable to make ends meet on their new and reduced income. More than 46% of Feeding America clients served report having to choose between paying for utilities or heat and food. 39% said they had to choose between paying for rent or a mortgage and food. 34% report having to choose between paying for medical bills and food. And 35% must choose between transportation and food. In the state of Ohio, where the winters can be rough, more than half of client households had to make a choice between paying for food and paying for utilities. On this cold February day, and this speech was written a few days ago because it's the most gorgeous February day we've ever had in Northeast Ohio. Imagine having to choose between feeding your family and keeping them warm. It's an almost impossible choice, and one I know we never want to make for our own families. One of the most disturbing findings of the study is that so many more children and seniors are being assisted by hunger programs. 38%, or an estimated 13.9 million of the people we are served, are children under the age of 18. In Northeast Ohio, 223,000 people were served by emergency hunger programs last year, including more than 85,000 children. And what's alarming is that this was an increase of 54% compared with the number of children served in 2005. According to a report released in May of 2009, 1 in 4 Ohio children under the age of 5 lives on the brink of hunger, ranking Ohio third in the nation, just behind Louisiana and North Carolina. No child should ever be hungry. But it's not just a moral issue. Children, especially young children, can be permanently impaired physically and mentally when they're malnourished. They often have trouble concentrating and do poorly in school. They do not have the strong start they need to grow up and be healthy, to be productive, healthy adults. We Ohioans have to work harder to improve the situation for the children in our state. It's simply imperative. We're also challenged by the number of low-income senior citizens turning to hunger programs for assistance. Excuse me. One of the clients we interviewed during the study was a grandmother whose son had died, leaving her to raise his 2 children on her Social Security income. Many seniors struggle to take care of their own needs on Social Security. Adding 2 more mouths to feed multiplies their financial troubles, and in some cases, it's just not possible. Seniors make up 15% of the people assisted by emergency hunger programs served by the Cleveland Foodbank. In numbers, that's 33,000 seniors, a 75% increase in the number of seniors served in 2009 over 2005. And we know that demographically this number is only going to get larger. Many seniors are taking care of grandchildren or living in households with struggling children. It's a sad state of affairs that people in their twilight years continue to struggle without many of the necessities that we take for granted. A colleague of mine and I had dinner a few weeks ago at one of our hot meal programs, Soup's On, and sat next to a veteran in his 80s with a tremendous singing voice. He was eager to talk and share his history and stories of his life, and he described with extraordinary eloquence and passion an omelet he had had in Switzerland during the war and how it was so light it almost lifted off the plate. It struck me the next time I had an omelet that I should be more grateful, that this could be somebody's happy memory. Just as we have seen with children, there is scientific evidence that supports good nutrition as critical to the health and life quality of America's seniors. Hunger and malnutrition exacerbate chronic and acute diseases and speed the onset of degenerative diseases among the elderly. Because of the issues that relate specifically to age, including decreased mobility, increased medical costs, and fixed incomes, the elderly can be especially vulnerable to food insecurity and malnutrition. The good news is that the Cleveland Foodbank and food banks throughout the Feeding America network are there to respond at this time of great need. And it is truly good news. As I put forth all of these figures, please remember that the response is tremendous and our capability is limitless. Food banks and the thousands of agencies we serve nationally are here to make things all right, at least temporarily, for people who are struggling and in some cases literally desperate to get by. The food bank movement, only about 40 years old, represents an organized response to addressing hunger by linking available food from the food industry and generous donors with hunger programs that provide food to people in need. A Feeding America member food bank is different than a pantry or hot meal program. A food bank is a charitable organization that solicits, receives, inventories, stores, and distributes donated food and grocery products to charitable agencies that directly serve needy clients. Food banks do not necessarily serve clients directly, but rather support hunger relief agencies with food, training, equipment, financial support, and education on safe food handling, nutrition, and other important topics. In addition to warehousing and supplying food to hunger centers, many food banks like ours in Cleveland offer creative programs that reach out to high-risk clients that are difficult to reach. At the Cleveland Food Bank, our programs include a fresh produce initiative, where we distribute more than 7 million pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables annually through member agencies and Cuyahoga County Metropolitan Housing Authority low-income facilities. We also partner with community organizations to offer free farmers markets, where we pull a truckload of free fresh produce into a parking lot of a church and do a mass distribution of fresh fruits and vegetables. Our community kitchen, which provides approximately 5,000 prepared meals a day to hot meal programs and other agencies that distribute prepared meals to their clients, but lack the resources or staff to create the meals at their own facilities. Through our Backpacks for Kids program, we distribute food to 2,400 low-income children at the end of each week. We fill backpacks with food for use over the weekend when children have access to fewer food resources, sometimes none at all. They don't have free school lunches that they receive during the week. In partnership with local community organizations, we provide nutritious meals as well as educational programming related to nutrition and healthy eating habits at 14 local kids' cafes. These programs provide hot meals to at-risk youth daily at after-school programs where kids gather, while teaching them the importance of good nutrition at an early age. The truth is that the least expensive food and the easiest food to provide for a struggling parent is often the least nutritious food as well. Through our Agency Academy program, we bring together community partners to provide educational and health-related programming to our member agencies to help increase the capacity of Hunger Center volunteers and staff to serve their clients. The Agency Academy curriculum includes training in efficient program management, safe food handling, health and nutrition, fundraising, and identifying and utilizing community resources. We also help clients served by hunger centers stretch their dollars by helping them sign up for the SNAP program, formerly known as food stamps. SNAP is the first line of defense against hunger, allowing low-income families to purchase the food products they need at a local grocery store at a time and location that is convenient for them. According to Hunger in America 2010, the number of clients of hunger centers receiving SNAP increased from 52% to 61% in the Cleveland Food Bank area from 2005 to 2009, which reflects first and foremost an increase in the number of eligible clients, but also the significant community efforts to connect people with the program. Nearly 56,000 people in our six-county area are eligible for SNAP benefits, but not receiving them. This is a call to action. 65% of clients surveyed simply said they didn't believe they were eligible when, given their reported income, 57% actually were. Clearly, we need to do a better job educating people about the program and helping them to access the food stamps that they are entitled to. Because of this, the Cleveland Food Bank employs a full-time food stamp outreach counselor to help people sign up for the program. In partnership with the Ohio Association of Second Harvest Food Banks and the Governor's Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives, food banks in Ohio also serve as Ohio Benefit Bank training sites and employ AmeriCorps Vista staff to train agencies in the community to assist clients in accessing benefits for which they may be eligible. The Ohio Benefit Bank is a counselor-assisted software program that's used to prepare applications for work support benefits, including SNAP. In the Cleveland Food Bank area, there are 178 Ohio Benefit Bank sites and more than 600 trained counselors.